Hey folks, these Tuesday posts are reposts of our first ever movie-themed podcast, The Documenteers, a documentary-themed show that ran from 2016 to around 2020. So that means this episode originally dropped almost a decade ago. I took down the old feed last year with the idea of making it premium content along with other stuff, but life happened and the projector's format changed and the post amount dropped. Though we are still doing projectors episodes when we're ready to discuss a chunk of films, but not as consistently as we were. I haven't heard these Documenteers episodes in a while. What I have heard back, I admit I cringe at myself a bit, but anything I do I will absolutely hate later on. It's just how it is for me. The Documenteers was pretty goofy and featured rotating secondary hosts. It did make its connections with people and remains our most well-known podcast to date. So maybe you're listening for the first time or for the first time in a long time. Welcome. These Documenteers episodes will also be thrown onto YouTube for the first time. But it will be a static image because it was only a podcast. But you can also go to YouTube to listen to these as they drop. There are almost 200 episodes total, so these weekly reposts will be continuing for a while. We hope you like them and see how we've changed over the years. I know I certainly have, so let's get into the episode so you can hear me embarrass myself. Keep on, Doc.
Hello, Doggalos and Doggalettes. I hope you don't have a fear of the doc. That's an Iron Maiden pun. I hope you enjoyed it. And that's because the movie today that we are discussing will feature the newest Documenteer ever. Her name is Ginger. We are going to talk a lot about rock documentaries. No host holds firm to any theme. We like to diversify, but we will be seeing things at a musical angle with a lot of Ginger's episodes. The movie we are discussing today is Iron Maiden Flight 666 by directors Scott McFadden, and I think that's how you say that, and Sam Dunn. This movie came out in 2009. It's about a tour that Iron Maiden took where the frontman lead singer flew the jet that flew them around, and they flew to countries and towns that they've never been before and just rocked out with fans that seem to never age. What is Iron Maiden's secret? How much does this movie truly rock? Probably a cheap rental. I think there is a YouTube version, but it might be worth a rental. You know, it's not a bad film. But yes, please welcome Ginger, and you can welcome us all real good by liking our Facebook page. We have a Facebook page now. Angela sets it up. She messes with it. So you can say hello to her on it and like the page. And if you like it a lot, share the page. And if you have not done so, give us 5 stars and a review on iTunes. Thank you to all who have done that. I think if everyone who seems to listen to the podcast within the first week at least gave a five stars on iTunes, we'd be playing a whole different ball game right now. You know what I'm saying? And because that helps us network and get out there, and it costs nothing, and it's a big help. 5 stars and a review on iTunes. Also, we do have social networks, Twitter and Instagram at Documenteers. And if you want to send me something directly, an email, documenteerspodcast@gmail.com. We'll take recommendations, Herzog Erotica, tremendous praise to me personally. We're into all of that. But let's not dally. Let's get into this movie. Let's go around the world with Iron Maiden. Flight 666 by directors Scott McFadden and Sam Dunn. Keep on docking.
Now, here is a motion picture film. 1,000 feet, 16,000 separate photographs. Let's tidy up this tangle of film by putting it on a reel.
Kind of a metal kid.
Kind of.
Is it like were you into the glam metal?
A little bit. So yeah, I was trying to think back kind of the other day, like what got me into this kind of music. And I think 4th grade, I remember a friend of mine made a copy of Appetite for Destruction for me, and I had to hide it from my mom because she didn't let me really listen to that kind of music. I was always like sneaking MTV and all this kind of stuff, and she was very against any kind of like rock music sort of stuff.
You're not going to be in the jungle. Go to your room.
So listening to that, I was like, oh, wow, this is very different. Now, I mean, am I really a Guns N' Roses fan to this day? No, not really. But I mean, there are some things that I appreciate. But anyway, that kind of like got me into like looking for different types of music. And then from there, like I found Metallica and was like obsessed with Metallica. I still kind of am a little bit, like early stuff.
I just listened to Master of Puppets in its entirety, maybe a few months ago for the first time. I think there's a lot of that scene that I kind of associated with the negative aspects of where I grew up. Like,
the dudes,
the bullies, this was the bullies music, you know? And it's not really the band's fault that meatheads like their music. I mean, I love Nirvana, and Nirvana had meathead fans too.
Yeah.
A lot of their music was about how fucking idiots like their music and how frustrating it was. But it wasn't the band's fault. But I sat and I listened to Master of Puppets after the rest of the world's already heard it. And I was like, oh shit, this is a really good record.
Yeah.
I was and I've probably listened to it 20 times since.
Yeah, it's really good. And then have you listened to Ride the Lightning?
Yes.
And Injustice for All and stuff? Yeah. Yeah, I like found recently I've been kind of like cycling through some of my favorite songs over those three. Actually, Black Album too.
Yeah.
I kind of like, that's like my cutoff for Metallica, like after the Black Album, which I think came out like 91 or something.
Seems common.
Everything after that, I'm just not.
Half the Black Album was like put into singles. Just casually, I'm the most aware of that one. And I think I could go the rest of my life without hearing Enter Sandman again.
Me too. I mean, I always skip over.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, but there's some really good songs on that album. But yeah, that was kind of like the beginning of the end for me. Like I just couldn't get into them after that. And then, you know, after Metallica, I kind of dabbled in lots of different other music. And what was weird for me is because I went to this small school and I was the only one listening to this stuff. So it's not like I could like talk to people about this cool music that I was finding and stuff. I was just having to like, I don't even really know how I found half this stuff, but somehow I did. And then Iron Maiden, of course, at some point along the way.
I think around the heyday of glam metal, I was pretty young. The music I probably listened to the most was like the New Jack music on the radio.
Yeah.
That was kind of the first music that I just started listening to. And then I got more into the rock scene and grunge blew up, and I was at the perfect age to get obsessed with all that stuff. The alternative stuff. Like I used to be obsessed with Weezer, those first two records back in the day.
Me too. Yeah.
Got into other bands like Pavement and Sonic Youth and The Replacements when I was in high school. And these aren't underground bands. They'd been in the game for quite some time.
Yeah.
But at this country high school I went to, didn't really know a lot of kids that listened to that specific stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was weird when I went to college, when I saw a mutual friend that we still have to this day walks into the cafeteria wearing like a Wowie Zowie Pavement shirt. And I was like, whoa, you listen to like it. And I was in an environment where most of us listened to that. And it was very like, whoa, I can't believe it. But now Pavement's dad rocks, so.
Yeah. Oh, how times have changed. Yeah, it's I remember getting into grunge type stuff. Like I got my first Alice in Chains. Probably found them around the same time I found Nirvana, which Nevermind came out in what, like 92, 91, 92 maybe, something like that.
90, Nevermind, yeah, 91.
So I found them and Alice in Chains kind of at the same time, and I remember like alternating back and forth between Dirt, Alice in Chains album, and Nevermind, and then I got super into Alice in Chains and like listened to exclusively them for a while, and then kind of like went on to Pearl Jam and Temple of the Dog, and never was like a super Soundgarden fan, but
sure. I liked Bad Motorfinger. Soundgarden, that's a good metal grunge crossover group.
Yeah.
A lot of old metalheads and a lot of the grunge heads both like that band.
That's true. I mean, Chris Cornell, he had a great metal, strong vocal situation.
I didn't care for Super Unknown, that record, though. I never got it. I never got into Pearl Jam. What I would do is I would read any article where Kurt Cobain was being interviewed. And if he cited a band that he liked, I would be like, oh, I want to check that band out. Mm. And a lot of the bands that Nirvana is citing, they were like twee bands and shit like that. They weren't necessarily bands that sounded exactly like Nirvana. like Teenage Fan Club, and that's like a power pop band from Scotland.
Yeah.
And they're one of my favorite bands to this day, but that's kind of how I absorbed the others. I remember getting very confused when Stone Temple Pilots got big and that video Plush, I think it was, showed up. And I was like, why did Eddie Vedder shave his head and dye it? It was very confusing.
There was like a similar sound for sure going on there for a while, like that kind of gravelly sort of like kind of thing.
It got
it
tired.
Real popular. Yeah.
It got tired real quick. And even looking back now, I mean, it seems like the 90s are kind of hot lately.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Being very touted by kids that were probably born in that decade. Notice like 8-bit stuff is really popular amongst young people now.
Yeah.
And over the years, I've kind of looked back and found music in the 90s I didn't even listen to at the time and really like now. But I don't really look back with that much fondness. I don't know. I mean, it was just what it was. You know, I was happy to move forward. A lot of the most popular music got really tired. And after 1996, popular music was really shitty, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, definitely kind of going into the 2000s, music was just like, I can't really even, as I'm sitting here, I can't really identify a band that I really enjoyed their music. Like sometimes I almost feel like maybe am I stuck in 96 and before, like that, all that stuff. Like, and there's obviously stuff that I like that has come out since then, but I feel like there really was kind of like a weird sort of desert land of just really boring stuff.
I think there's just a lot of redundant kind of shit going on. I'm seeing that happen right now, I think, with a lot of popular music.
Yeah.
Because I do listen to a lot of contemporary hip hop and stuff. I've always just been curious as to what's going on with that. And there's a lot of shit that's getting really boring that was really exciting like 4 or 5 years ago. So
I have to say, and this is not me being like a snob, it's just kind of me being unaware, but I feel like I just don't have a whole lot of knowledge about really current music, like current pop music or even like current hip hop. Really, I just don't really have much exposure to that. Like willingly, I'm not really listening to it, but so there could be some stuff out there that I don't even know. It might be great.
Seems like all the popular stuff is pop music, which it's always popular. It's pop music.
Goes with the name.
Everything is electronically filtered, which I'm not against. I'm into whatever sounds good. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not one of those kind of people.
Right.
And, you know, trap music, stuff like that. And then you got your like Kelly Clarksons and your stuff like that. And I don't mean to hate on those too. I mean, even singers like that will have some one or two songs I may think are not bad. But beyond that, you go just under the surface of that, you know, and there's EDM and stuff like that, and which is huge. But globally, that is the biggest music happening right now, and it has been building since like house in the late 70s.
Yeah, and I'm not very familiar with EDM at all, but from what I understand, there's even a lot of variety within that genre that kind of like runs kind of like a metal sort of focus to just like really like bubblegummy poppy.
After that, there's like a garage scene. I was actually really into the garage scene like 8 years ago. Garage, if you had a band that sounded exactly like the Ramones today, they wouldn't call you punk. They would call you a garage band. Yeah. And the garage band is anything from like, you could step up and be like, our favorite band is Iron Maiden, the band we're going to be talking about today.
Yes. Up the irons.
And you do that, but you got like some Ramonesy twist to it, maybe some weird rockabilly twist. It's like garage is like every rock subgenre that is no longer super popular anymore, and it's all in this big bubble. Old R&B influences in it too. It just depends on what band you're seeing. Yeah, it's incredibly diverse, but I think a lot of the garage stuff it's almost like party music. It's not like super deep, but it rocks. Yeah. And that's kind of traditionally a lot of what rock is, you know, so.
That's true. So I was reading about how at some point Iron Maiden was playing Ozfest, and they somehow got into some like feud with Sharon Osbourne and Ozzy. Have you read about this? I've
heard several stories about Sharon getting pissed at other bands.
Yeah, like so
Because they didn't
were
kiss Ozzy's dick or something. I don't know.
Well, I think what I remember reading, Bruce would get on stage every night and like kind of like disparage the tour somehow. I don't really know why. Like he was just saying stuff that just made them mad. So I guess Sharon started encouraging the fans to throw eggs and whatever at Iron Maiden as they were playing. They cut their audio at some point, and it was like this big feud that happened at some point. I know, so much drama.
It seems unnecessary, really.
Doesn't it? But, sometimes that's what's exciting to people. People like the drama and the intrigue and
what I picked up on Iron Maiden is that they are very much professionals in what they expect.
Oh, yes.
When they go out on that stage. So I can imagine that. I mean, it's Steve Harris, and Bruce Dickinson seems to have that work ethic as well. Mm-hmm. That like, this is what we are, this is what we do. If you don't measure up to this, then you're gone.
Yeah.
And they had a very specific, and if it contradicted anything that Sharon said,
oh gosh, yeah.
You can see that feud like blowing up. Pretty challenging because Iron Maiden, they were grinding it out in the mid 70s, and then they blew up right when the 80s was happening. Mm-hmm. But, Black Sabbath, they're a perennial band, one of my favorite bands, and they'd been in that game since the end of the 60s, so it's kind of hard to say. It almost sounds like Iron Maiden should predate all other metal. Because
well, people say that they're kind of like the original and the kind of go-to sort of inspiration.
They're pure. They're like orange juice frozen concentrate. It's the Iron Maiden, and you got to like mix water in with it. Because if you drink straight Iron Maiden, you're probably going to sugar crash, you know. Totally. You got to mix water in it. But yeah, we're talking about Iron Maiden.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, Up the Irons.
The 2008 documentary. Mm-hmm. We went through like 10 genres in our casual discussion there.
Yes, we did. Yep.
Ginger, welcome to the Documenteers.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
We're going to be talking about no topic is hard and fast with any host. We will bounce around.
Good.
We don't want to do this. We want to do a lot of our plan, but, kind of keep things interesting. We switch things around, but we're going to be concentrating a lot on rock docs.
I love it. Yes.
I'm so excited because we haven't really just hit the rock docs real hard. We're over 25 episodes in at this point. I love music. I love talking about music. I love learning about music. I love analyzing music.
Probably it's going to turn out that you know more facts and details. Like I know a little bit about a lot of, sometimes my memory is not that great. You may have to correct me on some things. Well, and, and callers can call you at home to like correct us, right?
Yeah, I've been waiting for this red phone to light up for 5 months.
Callers, call now.
Yeah, I just get real nerdy about it. So I might just drone on and edit swaths of myself out later. But Iron Maiden. Yeah. They're a band that I've always respected. I don't consider myself a big metal guy. A lot of that glam metal stuff I was not into during its heyday. A lot of stuff I've discovered looking back, I was like, oh, that's pretty good. I don't mind this. I don't mind that. And I feel like I'm a curator sometimes with music. Like often I'm not very timely, but then I'll just sit and analyze something like that came out 30 years ago and be like,
yeah, I think I'm kind of the same.
And then I'm the guy at a party saying, have you heard this record that everyone's heard? It's really good. But Iron Maiden is a band I've respected for years. I have their first 4 records, their first 4 company release records. No 77 demos or anything. I'm not that nerded out. But the first 2 records are Paul Di'Anno records, where he's singing. And then Number of the Beast is Bruce Dickinson. And a guy named Blaze Bayley shows up later.
Yeah, for a brief period of time. And then Clive Burr, I think, was on the original drummer was on.
Oh, yeah, he had come back.
I don't really know how many of those records he was on or not.
I know Clive Burr was on Number of the Beast, and that was up until, I guess, he would come back. I don't know if he came back for the Blaze Bayley era, but that was the last record that Bruce and Clive were on at the same time was Number of the Beast.
Yeah, because Bruce left for a while, and then he came back. Like it was that lineup. That was what was interesting to me. Like I don't think obviously known Iron Maiden. I've been a fan, but kind of getting into the details of like the band members and everything. It's not something I super followed. I mean, it's obvious that like the lineup changed quite a bit over the years before it kind of settled on the current lineup, which I think has been in place since maybe like mid 80s, like mid early 80s, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they released albums under these various kind of. I mean, Steve Harris was like a constant. He's like the original Maiden.
He had a vision, and it's kind of interesting. Steve Harris is the bass player.
Yeah.
Stereotypically, you would think the most disposable person in a metal band would be the bass player. You think if a guy was wanting to be really exact about building a metal band, that he would be either the singer or the guitarist, right? But not Steve Harris.
That's right.
He's like, I want to play bass. You need to do this. You need to do this. You need to do this. And if anyone didn't meet up to the vision of what he wanted, they were gone.
Out of there, yeah.
And Steve Harris is the architect of Iron Maiden.
Yeah, to this day, I mean, he's still, like we see in this documentary, that he leads the direction. Like, I think at some point he even breaks off, like in the middle of this very grueling tour that they're doing, he kind of breaks off to do like recording and stuff. And I guess what they're doing is putting together a live album of this or something. But he is just like meticulous and very controlled over how everything's going sound wise.
Yeah, they stop in LA and they go to the studio. I was like, dude, were you just on a plane for 8 hours? But you got to respect it. And I can't compare and contrast all the metal basses because I haven't gone through them all, but just watching him play in this movie that we're talking about today, I don't know if we've officially said the title.
I don't think so.
We're watching the 2008 film Iron Maiden Flight 666, directed by Sam Bunn and Scott McFadden, who
are two Canadian gentlemen, I believe.
Yeah, I caught real quick when they were talking. They don't talk much, thankfully, because it's going to be my first real criticism of this movie.
Okay.
But Steve Harris, based on the live shows we see in this documentary, he might be the best there is out there.
I mean, that's what they say.
He is, if you watch him play and what he contributes to and the energy he brings to it, it's great. And he really is a super skilled metal bassist.
He is. And, I will say about bass players and...
they're trash.
Well, no. I think... I have to disagree with that because I feel like there's a real sort of...
I don't really think they're trash.
Well, I know. But a good bass player can really kind of ground the sound of a band, like a rhythm section in a way. They sort of work with the drummer and hold things down for the guitarist and for the singer to run with, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. But it may, and again, I don't really know a lot of other metal bassists. I can't really think of any off the top of my head right now, but
there's that guy from Suicidal Tendencies who plays with Metallica now.
Yes,
and
that's true.
Holds his bass about down to the ground.
Real comfortable. Yep.
Slayer's bassist, I forget his name. That's another metal band that, even though I'm not a big metal guy, it's that I've taken in a lot of stuff from them. So.
Yeah, Slayer. So there's a guy from Slayer that shows up at some point in the documentary.
Los Angeles, likely.
In Los Angeles. He's the guy that holds up. There's a scene where they're backstage and a guy holds up his like backstage pass. He's like, "Oh, this backstage pass is terrible. Yours is great," or something like that. And he's from Slayer, and I don't know. Maybe he's the bassist. Maybe he's not. But anyway, there are a couple of celebrity cameos that are really fun.
I think a wrestler shows up then, and Lars Ulrich shows up.
And guess who else? Ronnie James Dio.
Oh yeah.
Yes, like there's a scene where I think Nico is kind of walking backstage, and like there's this little guy with long curly hair, and it's Ronnie James Dio. I love him. Nice. We were just talking about him recently.
Yeah, we've been talking about him.
So it was relevant to
Rainbow in the Dark. Probably.
That's right. I mean, Ronnie James Dio, rest in peace, of course, because he died a couple of
Rip Ronnie.
Yeah, Rip Ronnie. Exactly.
I have a confession to make. In searching for this movie, I selected, and I was a little confused because, and this took a long time, probably well over an hour, maybe closer to 90 minutes, where I realized I don't think I'm really watching this feature film. I think I'm watching concert footage of the tour from country to country. And then I realized, yes, I'm watching basically the shows that we see clips of in the movie. I'm watching the entire performances.
Right.
And I sat and watched this for a while.
You're like, this doesn't feel like a documentary.
Yeah. And
Where's the talking?
I didn't mind because I like Iron Maiden.
Right.
I kind of like what they bring to the table. I remember just thinking like, wow, they're all really in great shape.
Oh my God.
And Bruce Dickinson, dude.
We have to remember, these guys are at this point in their mid-50s.
Yeah.
And they
look great.
Killing it. literally running all over the stage, jumping up and down, doing kicks up. There was this one point where I think it's Yannick or Janik, one of the guitarists.
Yannick Garris.
He like does these like little hops in the air, and they just like do spins and do like the guitar swirling around the neck thing. They're amazing. But yeah, so back to you saying that you watched the full concert.
So I watched pretty much most of the shows.
Yeah.
And then I was like, wait, this isn't right. And then I found the documentary.
I can see that was an easy mistake because when I was looking for it, it would say Flight 666 in the parentheses, full movie, or Flight 666 full concert. So I actually almost clicked on the concert too, but then I read it, so I didn't.
Well, I should read more.
Yeah.
I should learn how to read.
Learn how to, yeah.
Iron Maiden, the lineup, as far as this tour goes, it goes like this.
Mm-hmm.
You got your Steve Harris. He's the bass player, the founder, the mastermind, the architect.
That's right.
Then you got Nico. You said Nico. Nico?
I've heard people call him Nico and Nico.
Well, there's a C and a K, so it seems like Nico would make sense.
Yeah, but then Lars calls him Nico. But I think, who knows? Nico
McBrain.
Mm-hmm.
He's the drummer.
Yep.
Then you got Dave Murray. I would say he's first guitar based on the how we see him shred. Adrian Smith, he's kind of more of the meticulous guitar player.
Yeah.
And who's kind of busting out some crazy rhythms.
Yeah, he's kind of got like a little bit of a Stevie Ray Vaughan vibe a little bit to him. Like we see him sort of like jamming backstage at some point. Doing some sort of like groovy.
He makes the O face.
Yeah, he does.
When he jams.
Yes.
And Dave Murray's expressions, I love his expressions when he's playing the guitar. Because he has this face that's like, see if you can describe it like.
Oh, it's like a surprise.
Like he's shocked, like he just picked up a guitar for the first time.
and he can't believe what he's doing.
He's like, whoa, can you believe this?
Watch this, guys. Yeah.
And then Yannick Garris, who I don't know when he came into the lineup.
I think 82-ish, maybe.
He's a good guitar player, but he's definitely kind of like the third. Because you need a lot of guitar in Iron Maiden. And Bruce Dickinson, who is the lead singer.
Oh, yeah.
The second lead singer of Iron Maiden. And I think there'd been one or two more since. No, just one more since his time. But he's not just the singer.
No.
He's the pilot of the tour jet.
Yes,
for the whole band.
Yep.
Because the band, they have this jet.
Mm-hmm.
And Bruce, he's also a pilot for... I can't remember the name of it. I think it's like a Scandinavian airline.
Yeah, and I think that I read that it's like defunct now. Anyway,
oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
Because they partied. Because everyone wanted. I think everyone just wanted the Bruce Dickinson flight.
Yeah.
And everyone was just disappointed when. It didn't happen any other way.
They wanted Ed Force One. Is what they wanted.
Everyone wants Ed Force One.
Oh God.
If I was on a plane and then this is your pilot, Bruce Dickinson, I would freak the fuck out.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they come up with this idea of the tour. They're not only carrying the band and all the crew, but all like the gear and equipment.
Yeah.
Is in this plane.
I think I wrote down 70 crew, 12 tons of equipment.
Wow.
And then everybody else.
That almost seems like too much.
Seems like too much. And also at some point they said that it took a year to plan. Like this whole thing that they're like, this can't happen. It's too much. And they figured it out. It's a giant plane too.
Yeah, spoiler alert, they didn't crash and die in a plane crash. So
they did not.
If anyone thought that they were going to die in a plane crash, that doesn't happen in this film.
That's not part of this documentary. No, it isn't.
The tour is roughly based on an old tour they did called the World Slavery Tour. But the difference between this tour is that now that they can have their own little jet and their own pilot / frontman, they can fly into countries that they've never flown into before. Mm-hmm. And they make it a point throughout this movie to say this isn't some retro tour.
Right.
Because what you have to understand is they are playing cities they've played before, but they're playing, I think it's 21 cities and flying over 50,000 miles.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, 23 shows, 21 cities, 45 days, I believe.
A lot of these cities they're coming to that they've never played before, especially in South America and places like that. Their audience is as young as it was when they first started getting into this game.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes a little bit younger too. Like there's some pretty young kids in the audience here.
It just for some reason, Iron Maiden has resonated in this continent and in Central America and in Mexico. People have not stopped listening to them and have passed them down to their kids. So they're going to these cities, and this is the first time that they've heard these classic metal songs. So to them, it's not like a retro review. This isn't playing to a guy who's gone to 20 Maiden shows.
Right.
They are seeing these for the first time. For some, literally, it is like a religious experience.
Oh, gosh,
for
yeah.
some of these people.
Yeah, I mean, it's really incredible to see, and we'll get into it, but just the response of these fans, I mean, it's just insane. And they're like Bobby is saying, these are all like young kids, like younger than 20, like maybe like teenagers really are showing up to these shows and like are so, I mean, they're so into it. It's incredible to watch.
This movie covers more than just South America, but you could easily have a documentary that is just specifically focusing on Iron Maiden's South American influence and the relationship between that continent and that fan base to Iron Maiden and analyzing that. We don't really get the question why. I mean, I guess the answer why is because Iron Maiden is one of the best metal bands of all time. So why wouldn't anyone just crowd them out and look at them? But the way it resonates is hard to explain. And no one, including the band, may truly really know exactly why it goes that way for them.
Yeah, I don't think they really get into that in this documentary. You're right. Like I was kind of wondering the same thing, like how did it happen? And also how did it happen to this degree, to this extreme level? I mean, it's just shocking, really. We can't
really downplay it. When they go into places like Chile and Colombia, Costa Rica, they're getting mobbed at airports.
Kids are camping out there. At some point they were saying, I think this was in Colombia maybe, people were camping out for 10 days just to get into this show. Yeah. And I mean, they're having to turn people away at these like 20 or so thousand person venues. 50,000 people are showing up to get in. And it's just people are coming from all over surrounding areas to come see these shows. I don't really know how many shows that they played in South America, but
yeah, they didn't touch base on all of them, but we see concerts from Argentina, Costa Rica, 2 cities in Mexico, Colombia, Chile, and Brazil.
I liked your accent. That was good.
Chile,
very good. Authentic.
It's almost kind of scary for them. But in a lot of these countries, this show is the biggest thing that is happening as far as like drawing massive crowds in a long time.
Yeah, and we see like, issues with like security presence and like government interference, tense situations where these fans are kind of coming together and, the officials are really trying to stamp down some of that enthusiasm in a way because they're scared of it or whatever. And you have to remember that a lot of these countries too, I mean, some of these places they were banned originally because, a lot of people know that Iron Maiden is kind of has been considered a satanic band.
Yeah, bro.
Even though they're not really, but I mean.
Yeah.
So a lot of these countries are, they're concerned about the youths being exposed to this.
Yeah, Chile, I think Padre Pissy Pants got on television and banned Iron Maiden.
Back in the 80s,
in an old tour that they were trying to go on. It's just very fascinating to me, the relationship between that band and these countries. But we're about to get started on this tour. We meet one of my favorite people. I wish you could probably make a documentary surrounding their production manager, Dick Bell.
Oh, what a character.
He's a man after my own heart. Mm-hmm. He takes very little seriously. I'm sure he's amazing at his job. But when the camera's on him, he's telling a joke and a snide English comment. And he's telling people to get their hands out of their pockets. They look slovenly.
Yeah.
Talking to a bunch of metal dudes and like roadies, like telling them to straighten up.
These guys are all fun. I don't know what people maybe have not seen the documentary or picturing when they picture Iron Maiden as people, but individually, these guys and together, they're so fun-loving and lighthearted, and they all really seem to care about each other and have fun and everything, and it's really fun to watch.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's kind of like different than what people might expect of these like metal rocker guys.
Yeah. Also in a band where that exhibits a lot of specifics of what they want, you figure there might be a little more tensions, and maybe over the years there has been, but I guess at this point they figured out how to balance it out. Some go play some fucking golf and the other one pisses off on the streets for a while.
Mm-hmm. Or they go play with a Wimbledon champ. some tennis that we see. We'll get into that
I was
later.
like, okay. Ooh. The plane is not painted black. I wonder if there's some reason why it can't be.
Is the exterior?
I
you
mean,
or the interior?
yeah, the exterior.
Yeah. Well, kind of thought about that too. Maybe they just didn't feel like the other artwork that's on the plane would show up if it was black.
Maybe, I don't know.
Will
Maybe
you describe what's on the plane, Bobby?
well, on the back fin is Eddie's face.
Do we know who Eddie is? We have
Of
to tell the
course,
people who
the
Eddie
iconic
is.
Eddie,
Yes.
who's created. I'm forgetting the artist's name already.
Yeah, I didn't write that down, unfortunately.
Oh my gosh.
Call Bobby at home and tell him if you hear this and you want to tell us. I will say also, I love Eddie. I love the artwork. I love the album artwork. That's kind of one of the things that drew me in, I think, as a kid to Iron Maiden was the look.
Yeah.
You know, it was like, oh, this is amazing.
I think you can barely know anything about Iron Maiden, but know who Eddie is.
Yes. Yeah.
And Eddie was created by Derek Riggs. I was actually looking up a lot of his artwork because he does a lot of digital stuff now. It's very much, everything is that metal theme and metal style. And there's some digital artworks listed that was shown. He does things for more than just Iron Maiden records. He'll also gladly draw you a cover for your Iron Maiden tribute band as well, if you just fork over the money. But yeah, Eddie, he looks like a zombie, like a cross between a skeleton and a zombie. He has long hair. He was insistent on having long hair by the band, apparently, because it looks more metal.
Yeah.
And during that time, Steve Harris really wanted to make sure that this was a metal band.
Right.
And yeah, Eddie, we all know Eddie. Is Eddie a hero or a villain?
Maybe he's a little of both. Right?
Anti-hero.
Yeah.
Eddie's on the fin, and it says Ed Force One somewhere like near the nose.
Mm-hmm.
And it does say Iron Maiden and then the tour on it, right?
Yeah, I mean, the Iron Maiden, like the iconic logo of the band, that's very specific Iron Maiden font. Yeah, it's written out on the side. And I feel like there's maybe something else, like some other sort of like graphic art thing on there, but I can't remember now. Giant plane, like, and like the Iron Maiden, the words are like really big, so you can see it from afar.
And it is literally Flight 666. Like when they land at airports, there's an announcement that Flight 666 has landed.
Yes, they have to say it over the air. I love it.
Which is the coolest shit ever.
Yeah, at some point somebody even goes, oh, Flight 666, number of the beast. And everybody's like, yeah.
They go to India.
First stop, yep.
One thing I really like is that for every place that they stop that is featured in this movie, that they have like a fan testimony and someone explaining what Iron Maiden means to them. It's, if you put all those scenes together, it comprises a good amount of this movie. Mm-hmm. And it's a part of what made this movie kind of resonate.
Yeah,
and
me too, yeah.
He was talking about how this fan, he talks about how he was hooked on Iron Maiden. He just saw that artwork like a lot of people did. That artwork fucking worked. It really did hook a lot of people in. And he talks about a concert in Bangalore that they performed, a 20,000 seat capacity venue, and 50,000 people were outside.
Yeah.
India is the second most populated country on the planet. A lot of people there. We see Iron Maiden. We'd never see them officially perform it, but they practice Wrathchild.
Yeah.
When they're setting up for the concert in India. That's off the second record, Killers. Probably the first record I listened to of Iron Maiden that I was like, oh, there's something actually really quality with this band. And it's a Paul Di'Anno record. And he was their first singer. And then Number of the Beast came after. That's the first Bruce Dickinson record. And I really like that record a lot as well. And half the songs on that still get a lot of play to this day. Paul Di'Anno kind of had almost a foot into the burgeoning punk scene at the time.
Could you do a demonstration of Paul Di'Anno's voice for me? Because I can't really remember what it sounds like. Just why don't you do it for us real quick?
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play it. It's like
Paul, is that you?
It's like a more tired Bruce Dickinson. Bruce Dickinson is more refined.
He needs a nap.
He probably has more range, but as I understood it, Paul Di'Anno, he could have a good show, but he had a really hard time maybe maintaining the workload that these classic metal dudes did. I love that song.
Bobby and I just started moshing. We knocked over all the equipment. So
That's probably a really, I mean, it's an album cut, so it's been,
heavily
produced.
produced. Yeah. I mean, that sounds good. It's definitely a different sound than Bruce, for sure. You know, Bruce has that real like testosterone-y sort of like vibrato wail sort of thing.
Almost like a stereotypical metal wail that you would think Bruce embodies that.
Yes, he definitely does. And people even say like he's the ultimate when it comes to like metal vocalists. He is it. If we see like a newscast at some point where someone's kind of commenting on all these kids and how they're so interested in Iron Maiden, and they're saying that maybe it's like a kind of a rebellion against the Bollywood style music that they're sort of more exposed to and probably what they're mostly listening to, that, I mean, obviously it's very different than Bollywood music.
Yeah.
Like, real different.
Boisterous in a different way.
Yeah. Dramatic, but yet in a different way. Exactly. And then they talk about the stage, like they're saying like, we weren't scared to get on this plane, but we were scared to get on the stage that's basically lashed together bamboo.
Yeah.
And
Nico says that.
Yeah. But it goes fine.
Yeah, they tested it. It was fine. Yeah. Spoiler alert, the stage didn't collapse and they didn't all die.
Yeah, but backstage there's like an elephant and there's all these like tents and stuff, and they all get, I don't know what the band gets, the bendies, like, you know, the little jewel, and but the crew, you can see the crew getting bendies. And also it's really interesting, they're kind of cutting in this lifestyle footage of what I'm guessing is happening right around the stage area, like right on the other side. It looks like, to me, I could be wrong, daily life of these like other people, like just these adults working, going about their daily business, and these kind of kids running around and stuff, doing everyday stuff. And on the other side of this fence is this big mega setup of this band, and they're playing this like metal music, and it's really interesting, this kind of like juxtaposition of life going on in this country.
Really intimidating.
Yeah.
Even as a viewer, I was like, "Ooh, Jesus, that's a lot of people." We don't really need to linger on Australia too much, but Stephen Harris and Adrian Smith are sick from their time in India, and they're really they're basically practicing having to run off the stage to do a little diarrhea.
Yeah, at some point they say that they have buckets for both ends on stage, and that they're just having to like perform through it. I can't even imagine. When I'm sick, I just curl up into a fetal position. I can't imagine doing all of this performative stuff that they're doing.
But no matter how they feel, these guys are professionals. When it comes time to play, you would never be able to tell. Maybe Adrian makes the O face when he's squatting diarrhea out.
Maybe he does, yeah.
So it's not too far off, like, ooh.
It's just like his natural go-to expression.
That's when we see Adrian get some downtime, a little furlough where he's playing with Wimbledon champ Pat Cash.
That's right. And Pat Cash is this cute thing, like, they're like, well, how is Adrian? Is he a good tennis player? And Pat says, well, he's a better tennis player than I am a guitarist.
We also see Nico playing golf with Dave Murray. Every time Dave Murray hits that ball, he makes that face like,
face, yeah.
Can you believe it? I can do everything so good.
And they have these like monogrammed Iron Maiden golf club bags with their names on it.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
God,
so cute.
Well, they should mail us their golf bags.
We should ask for some. Like,
this movie kind of made me want to put Iron Maiden decorations on everything.
Yes. And do you want to tell everybody the link that you sent me of the really, really very cool thing that you found?
I can't remember the link, but I just looked up Iron Maiden Christmas sweaters.
Yes. And he finds the coolest Christmas, like ugly Christmas style sweater with a big picture of Eddie on front, and it's got like little designs and stuff on it. It's amazing.
It says Iron Maiden in big letters on the back. It's only $85.
Only $85.
It'll probably jump over $100 closer to the holidays. So
maybe so. Maybe we should jump on that now then.
Yeah, you got to get your Christmas sweaters now.
Yeah.
Steve Harris's son and 3 daughters are touring with them.
Yes, which is adorable. I love it so much.
Now, these guys are in that metal life, but they're not. This isn't some tour where they're like people are passing out with needles in their arms and shit.
Right. No, that's not happening.
I mean,
we can see anyway.
A lot of these crews, they probably have lived that life. Yeah. I'm guessing more closer to that life in the 80s when it was really peaking. You know.
Yeah.
They've probably been through this game plenty of times. So this tour really is a lot more of a family affair than one might think an Iron Maiden World Tour would be.
Mm-hmm.
It really is all about them being together and the music more than anything else.
Yeah.
And it's cool that they're sharing it with people that they love. I don't think everyone's brought their family, but Iron Maiden is Steve Harris's life, and his kids are his life, so he shares that with them, and it's really heartwarming.
It is heartwarming. Yeah, he's an interesting guy. I was reading about how he was almost a professional football player. He almost played for West Ham United, and interestingly enough, the Up the Irons kind of like tagline that they have is based on, I think, Up the Hammers, which is the West Ham slogan thing. So he's like really into football. And he's got his own football club called the Maidonians. Isn't that cute? I think at some point at the end we see him playing football. I don't know if it's with the Maidonians. Maidonian? Whatever. Maidonian?
Maybe
Maidonian.
go back to the...
those guys, he might be playing with them, but it's just really...
You know, I like Iron Maiden, but some concepts can go back to the drawing board here.
You're not into the Maidonians? No?
Well, what do you honestly feel about your favorite Iron Maiden song, Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter?
I never said it was like my favorite. Okay, so
it's a fun bad song.
It is. It's a fun bad song. So Iron Maiden had a song in the Nightmare on Elm Street film Dream Child, which is my personal favorite Nightmare on Elm Street. And so I guess originally it was a Bruce Dickinson song. He recorded it and everything, and then Steve Harris heard it and said, no, this has to be an Iron Maiden song. So eventually it became an Iron Maiden song, and it made it onto the soundtrack of Dream Child. And I'm sure it's in the film somewhere. I've got to rewatch it to remember exactly where it is. But do you want to sing it? Do you want to sing?
Bring your daughter to the slaughter. Bring your daughter to the slaughter.
That's close. You got the general.
I'm not Bruce Dickinson.
You're no Bruce.
I like the part
You're
where
Charles Dickinson.
I like that breakdown where Bruce Dickinson is like, "Bring your daughter, fetch your daughter,
right.
Bring your daughter." It's exactly what you think the song would be.
Yeah. It's pretty much he wants you to bring your daughter to the slaughter.
You know, my favorite bad song that I can't help but love is Kiss's "Lick It Up." You know that song?
Yeah, I do.
It's a terrible fucking song.
Yeah, it's a terrible song.
Hardcore metal fans. This is like Kiss is often the band that introduced them to this genre. It's like metal for children.
It's barely metal. That's the thing. I could never really get fully into Kiss just because I don't know. I just couldn't.
They suck. That's why you couldn't get into Kiss.
I don't want to say that. Kiss might be listening right now, and I don't want to insult anyone.
I kind of like that song Strutter, though.
Okay.
But Lick It Up is my favorite shit song. But it's about meeting a woman, not wanting to know her name or anything.
Of course, why would you?
And getting her to lick it up.
Yeah.
That's literally what it's about.
That's good, wholesome.
When you're obsessed with music, you absorb a lot of it like I do. Music nerdery.
Yeah.
You will know shit about stuff you think is garbage.
But I'm the same way. You're so much better at like knowing album names and more of the details than I am. I kind of like let it exist in my brain, but maybe some of the stuff I just don't.
There's only room for so much of this shit.
It's true.
I can't remember all the band names. You know, I had to write down Iron Maidens. I couldn't remember all these guys.
Can't remember the name Iron Maiden.
Yeah. I thought they were Maidens and Irons.
Maidens and Irons.
That's probably a cover band.
Mm-hmm. So I'm sure can we just imagine real quick how many Iron Maiden cover bands there must be? There's actually there's one called the Iron Maidens, which is like an all-female.
Yeah, they're one of the bigger ones.
Yeah.
I'd check them out.
Me too.
Maybe they'll roll into town.
Let's go, yeah.
They go to Japan.
Yeah.
Adrian says that in the history of Iron Maiden, Japan is the one place in the world where they were actually mobbed by teenage girls.
Yes.
It didn't really happen in any other places because they were mobbed by like sweaty dudes.
Yeah, we see this. We see a couple of the young female fans. One says that she is Japanese maiden girl number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really fun. And then another one that says she wants to be Steve Harris's daughter. And she... Yeah, and then she says, "Stay heavy," and it's really.
She's keeping it age appropriate. She's like, "Look, I understand, Mr. Harris. Right. You're significantly older than I am.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want this to be strange. But if you could adopt me,
yeah, if you could just be my dad,
be my daddy.
Yeah. Not like in a gross daddy way, but like an actual father daddy way, right?
They perform The Trooper in Tokyo.
Yes.
And as they're coming off the stage, Dick Bell's holding a sign that says, "You young twats."
Yeah. Is this the show where Bruce is running all over the stage with the flag? He runs across, like, I don't know, it's like a color guard kind of flag sort of thing. I don't know, like the kind that people like carry around on a big stick. These things are very heavy.
Yeah.
And he is running all over the stage, jumping up and down, twirling it around over his head like it's nothing, because he is just that much of a beast. He's amazing.
They pop into L.A., and that's when Steve pops into the studio, and I'm like, aren't you tired, dude?
Yeah.
These guys, they are, at this point in this movie, well over 10 years older than we are now, probably.
Yeah, they're like mid-50s, yeah. So.
I'm completely jealous of their energy.
Absolutely.
Especially Bruce Dickinson. The guy is always going.
And he looks like he's just like this fit, like, yeah, it's.
And I watched some fairly recent concert footage of him. The guy's still, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
I'm jealous, Bruce.
Yeah, at some point somebody else says, like, they wish that they could, like, bottle up whatever it is that keeps him going, you know, because not only is he performing like this on stage night after night, he's also jumping on a plane and flying it across the world, you know, and then stopping and then performing again. So yeah, he's incredible.
When they fly out of LA, it's a little bit somber because they know this is where like the serious leg of the tour starts. Mm-hmm. They're heading south, and they know that shit is going to get like real thick, you know?
Yeah, and watching it, I wasn't really sure what they were talking about, but then after, like, as time goes on, I'm like, oh, they're really having to prepare for the madness that is about to be unleashed upon them.
It's going to be India every night, a lot more enthusiasm and passion. In countries where things are a little more dangerous, some countries a little more militarized than other countries. But they make their way to Monterrey, Mexico, which is northeast Mexico. Okay. I can't remember the provinces.
Very nice.
They're greeted by a mariachi band, as you are. Mm-hmm. There's a small dog fucking a medium-sized dog. That was always fun.
That's there. Yep.
And the crowd, as they come on, they chant.
We see that happen several times throughout their sort of tour in this area, like that soccer chant.
Bruce says that playing these level shows in these countries can make the band very nervous because they know these audiences are going to be at an 11.
Yeah.
And the pressure is on them to make sure that they get a show to remember.
Yeah, they have to deliver like just an outstanding performance no matter how they're feeling or how many times they've done it. It's these people's first and maybe only time ever seeing them play live. So they have to really bring it.
They're in a pyramid at some point after the concert. They're hanging in Mexico. They're crawling through a pyramid. Mm-hmm. Nico does a candle ceremony. I just want to say Nico is very, very warm personality. Yeah. He's very open. He talks probably more than anyone to the camera, but he's always goofing, always being affable, always just making sure that even the camera crew is having a good time. Yeah. He's just an affable guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. They even say at some point he's kind of like their spokesperson because he just never seems to be afraid to just talk to anybody about anything at any time.
But he's doing a candle ceremony in the pyramid. I guess it's part of the tourist fun there. He talks about how he cherishes the spirit and he hopes that increases the bond with his friends. That's what his prayer is all about. And then they go off to sing devil music. Right. In Mexico.
In Mexico.
In Mexico City. And I'm not against the devil music. A little Satan spice on your music. Let it roll.
Satan spice. I used that on my eggs this morning.
Oh, I love Satan spice. Mm-hmm. They sing, "Can I play with madness? Can I play with madness?"
Yeah. But you know about something interesting about Nico, whatever. He is a born again Christian.
Really?
Yes, he is.
Wow.
As of before this was filmed, I believe.
When you start getting into Maiden's music, it's not like lay your life down to the Dark Master, slit your throat open. Everything's like a concept about something that's happening. Yeah. And that could involve the devil or injustice or a lot of metal is about people like fighting in wars and stuff and like losing their lives. There's a lot of Maiden songs like that. If you kind of think of it more in a like just a concept record kind of way, will move away from any literal Satanism within Iron Maiden's music.
And they insist that they are not like a pro-Satan band. In fact, like Number of the Beast was written after Steve Harris had like a nightmare after watching like Damien. Omen, is that right? Omen, Damien.
Yeah, one of the Omen movies.
Yeah. So he had like a nightmare or something. So he basically wrote the song kind of based on that, and it's also based on some sort of a piece of literature too that I'm not remembering right now. But they say that it's not actually satanic. But if you listen to it and don't really read or listen to the lyrics, I mean, it's easy to kind of assume that they're singing about Go Satan.
But they also understand that these visuals that they bring in
don't help their cause, saying that it's not.
But it's just a part of that metal life.
Absolutely,
I mean, South America, it's a very religious continent, but they're drawing
heavily Catholic, yes.
Yeah, so they're drawing all these crowds. You see kids after the show with tears in their eyes after the Maiden show crossing themselves.
Yes, yeah, which is very powerful. I mean, just seeing them just overcome with this emotion was really something.
I mean, you get into bands like early Slayer, Venom. There's a lot more devil in that shit.
Yeah, definitely.
And I heard that the frontman for Type O Negative was almost literally an evil person, from what I understand.
Peter Steele, right?
Yeah, I think didn't he pass away?
He did.
Yeah.
I think it might have even been suicide.
Yeah.
From what I remember.
But I heard he was like a legit dark person, and that's not even like pure metal. It's like that doom metal kind of thing. Yeah,
their Type O Negative is like heavily like pagan, a lot of pagan imagery, and I mean overt pagan imagery. He was a complicated sort of dark fellow. Sure. But yeah, I mean it's that, you're right. That's different than kind of what Iron Maiden's, what their music and their songs and their lyrics are based on. It's a different situation for sure.
But we've been studying Maiden since we watched this, and we understand that. We see eye to eye. Yeah, we understand it's not literally that. It's literally about the music and the fun. It's just they like horror movies and they like shit like that, and that's what comes out of it. And they like metal. That's really all it is. It's not any literal Satan worship. Right. But the fans, they already know that. Yeah. Everyone else just needs to step up.
They need to step it up. That's for sure.
And as they perform Can I Play with Madness in Mexico City, Bruce does wear a sombrero.
With it, I think it's got like an Iron Maiden or an Eddie like little graphic on it.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Well, they show it. They show like some of the fans like at like a vendor, like a merch table or something. They're selling these sombreros with the Iron Maiden thingy on it, and how can I get one? Where can I get one? Seriously.
You notice that Bruce doesn't toss anything into the crowd?
No,
he tosses it to the side.
Yeah.
They must be very frugal. They're not going to break a guitar. No. They're not throwing props into the audience. No. Like, got to keep this sombrero.
Let's just keep it. I'll throw it behind me. Yeah. It could also be like I could see them not wanting to injure someone by like throwing something into the audience and potentially hitting some kid in the face or something. I don't know. That could be part of it too. But I did notice that because at some point he takes it off. I'm like, he's going to throw it out in the audience. Give it to the fan. Nope. Goes right behind him.
They go to San Jose, Costa Rica. The streets are wild.
Yes.
And they fill out a 27,000 seat soccer stadium. And one of my favorite parts in this movie is this Costa Rican dude doing his own rendition of Children of the Damned.
Right. That's so good.
Yeah.
So everybody behind him's like all supportive. Yeah.
Another fan in Costa Rica, he describes, I think I'm getting this right, not verbatim, it is our official motto for Documenteers.
Okay, great.
But he says that Costa Rica is the asshole of the world. Asshole of the world.
The ass of the world, yeah, I think is what they say.
And it's just and it's such a huge deal for a band like Iron Maiden to come to this country.
Yeah, they just can't believe. Like, they would never, in their wildest dreams, think that they would ever make it there.
Yeah.
Because it's the ass of the world.
And this is what the band is talking about, being able to go to places that they've never been before.
Mm-hmm.
Because when the promotion was under the control of like record companies and stuff, they would be like, we're not sending you to fucking Costa Rica. There's no profit in it. There's no value in it.
And they end up saying, I think that their gig in Costa Rica ends up being the biggest concert ever in Central America.
Yeah.
Which is nuts. Yeah.
And Costa Rica is in that, you got Mexico and then that land, the Central American landmass that leads into South America. I think Costa Rica is up in there.
Don't ask me to know geography, Bobby. I do not. I refuse.
I'm starting to realize that I wouldn't say I'm amazing at geography, but maybe slightly above average. Like, I'm just kind of fascinated with the location of things.
Good on you, because I just don't, and I won't.
Well,
I don't and I won't. So just back off.
Oh, shit. In the Costa Rican concert, Bruce comes out with a mask on. I guess that has something to do with Costa Rican culture.
It looks kind of like a sort of like a tribal war mask sort of situation.
Yeah.
Maybe? Yeah.
Sure.
I don't know. Mr. Geography, why don't you tell us?
Hey, the culture, location and culture.
Okay.
That's a lot of layers there. Yeah. Off to Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
They're heading to the venue. They sign posters for security guards. I like that.
Which was adorable, yeah.
And there's 3 miles of tents leading up to the venue because people are camping to get a good spot. The people at the end of the 3 miles, you're probably not going to get a great seat. I just want to...
Probably not, but it's all about the experience, about the journey.
Dave Murray points out that this is a huge adrenaline rush to see this kind of shit.
Can you imagine? Seriously. I mean, they know at this point they've been doing this for a long time, but to see this kind of response, I can't even imagine what that must be like.
Bruce points out that there is a big military presence in Colombia. The security is very heavy, and there is a potential for things to go badly. Yeah. Colombia has, a lot of the problems are very well known. There's a lot of governmental corruption there. It is kind of a militarized society. There are groups that fight within the country that fight against the establishment. There was actually, I'm forgetting the name of the rebel group, but there was actually an election a few years ago where they were going to let this group have government representation in order to end the conflicts. And they put it up to a referendum, and the country was like, no.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people in the cities apparently wanted to let them in to bring about peace into the country, but there were a lot of people out in the country that was like, fuck them. But because over the years these groups straight up murdered people, but the rebel groups are also reacting to the murderous corruption of the government, and in the middle of all this is cocaine. So gosh, that's a lot to undress, and we are not equipped to really talk about
go into right now. No.
But just Bruce is pointing out that like shit gets real in Colombia.
Yeah, we're seeing these kids. I say kids because really they really are mostly young people waiting to get into these shows. But we see mounted police officers. I don't know if they're police.
Yeah.
Mounted officers sort of like jostling the crowd, and there's a lot of knocking into each other, and you can see the tension that's kind of happening. And he's saying like it would just take a small thing just for things to just pop off. And nothing does happen. We don't see anyway.
A lot of confiscation going on. Upset fans. One of the fans accuses the military of hating metal. Man.
Yes. That guy. He was angry. He was angry about it.
But metal is alive in Colombia. It's a fucking huge show. And they perform Run to the Hills. And people are, after the show, lasers in on this fan who's just crying. He's holding a drumstick. I'm not sure if Nico threw it out in the audience or whatever, and he caught it or he brought it from home. But he's just sobbing after the show. And it's kind of interesting because you're feeling his emotions. But after every show, they play the song Always Look on the Bright Side of Life.
Right.
So you hear this song playing in the background while this fan is just sobbing and crossing himself to the heavens.
Yes, he's pointing up to God. Because
Iron Maiden has touched his life.
Yeah, and he's not the only one. I mean, there's the female next to him is also crying. And I mean, not that it matters, but these are these gorgeous people too. These gorgeous young people, and they're so overcome with emotion. It was just really something to see. And like, you see like that happening a lot where people are just like crying.
Yeah.
During and after these shows. We might be coming upon one of my very favorite characters in this entire documentary, Father Iron Maiden.
Father Iron Maiden. Oh, that's in Brazil, yes.
Yes.
Because we're heading to Brazil.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, if I jumped the gun, I'm just very excited to talk about it.
Yeah, me too. Back in 85, there was something that went down called the Rock in Rio. It was televised in the whole continent. And that was the first time that Iron Maiden had been in that kind of environment.
Yeah.
That Rock in Rio is considered one of the biggest concerts in the history of the continent. And that was the first time that they were like, whoa, there's some shit going on down here that we can really get into. And that was their first clue into the Iron Maiden fandom that overwhelms the culture down there. Yeah. And another fine example of that is, now this is a thing in South America, in Scandinavia as well. But Iron Maiden is, to some, a religion. The Maiden religion. Who's this priest's name? What's his name?
Marcos Matolo.
Marcos Matolo.
I could probably say that with a little better of an accent, but I'm not going to try it.
He's a priest. He's outside Sao Paulo, and he leads a Maiden ministry. Mm-hmm. He has 162 tattoos. He named his son Steve Harris.
Yes, he did.
I love this part where he's talking about his tattoos, and it doesn't show him like peeling his shirt off.
Right.
He's standing there talking about how his son's name's Steve Harris. He's got all these tattoos. And then it cuts to just him suddenly not wearing a shirt. He's
not wearing a shirt. He's got kind of arms out. He's sort of like standing there all proud. Yeah.
And what is his prominent tattoo?
His prominent tattoo is a tattoo of Eddie in chains or tied up, kind of like with his arms out across Marcos's chest.
Yeah.
And he says that if he moves, it looks like Eddie's trying to like escape his restraints.
The restraints are the dude's nip nips.
Yes, that's true. The nip nips are the restraints. But I mean, he is just, he is so into it. He's 35 years old. He says he's been doing these sermons for 3 to 4 years, I think, about specifically the morality of Maiden lyrics. And we see his like congregation. I mean, there's maybe like 30, 40 people in there. He claims to be the number one fan. He calls himself Father Iron Maiden. It's really incredible. I love him.
He might be the number one fan. You naming your kid Steve Harris, I mean, you're a contender for sure.
Yeah, I mean, he's rivaling the girl that wanted to be the daughter of Steve Harris at this point. So maybe we should get them together. They could talk about things.
Maybe she can settle for being the daughter of his young son.
She could be the daughter of his young son that's named Steve Harris?
Yeah. I mean, she is significantly older than his kid, I assume, but still.
Stranger things have happened, sure. I mean, that could happen.
In the Maiden religion, things are wide open. They let any ideas in.
It's all about flexibility.
They play all up and down Brazil's coast. Yeah. And there's this part where I thought it was just kind of silly and goofy where Bruce hides behind the mummy prop. Oh, by the way, there's like a full mummy kind of like ancient Egypt Eddie theme in these shows. And the decorations kind of go up and down, but it's like this ancient tomb of Iron Maiden theme that's throughout this concert. Because it's based on the Somewhere in Time tour or something like
Somewhere Back in Time, yeah.
Which is one of their albums from the late 80s, but it's kind of, I think it's the wording is a little different, but it's kind of got that vibe to it. And
I have to, I mean, obviously Spinal Tap comes to mind with this sort of thing, and I can't help but think about the Stonehenge scene where like they have like the 18-inch Stonehenge. Have you seen Spinal Tap?
Yeah, it's been a long time, but yes.
Well, there's like a whole scene where they're doing like this their song Stonehenge, and they have commissioned an artist to make a life-size replica of the Stonehenge. They make a mistake and it ends up being like this 18-inch Stonehenge replica they put on the stage, and it's a whole thing. Anyway, so watching these kind of set designs, these like set, I don't want to say gimmicks, they're kind of gimmicks.
Sure.
Kind of make me think of that Spinal Tap.
But Bruce hides behind the mummy prop.
Yeah, right.
And then he wiggles his hands out and then he pokes his head out like, here I am behind the mummy.
Surprise! Yeah.
And how can you see a guy do that and think he's a Satanist?
Right. I know, exactly. I mean,
Satanists don't play peekaboo behind mummy props.
They don't have that much fun. That's right.
They go to Buenos Aires, Argentina. And in Argentina, the fans are on 24/7.
Yeah.
They point out, now, this is kind of the end of the leg, close to the end of the leg of their South American tour. I think they still got to go to Chile. But they're feeling the pressure, like, to the point, and they're almost starting to feel a little deflated, you could tell.
Yeah.
And they're like, the fans can be a lot. And the price of fame, especially in this part of the world, while it's super flattering, really there's nothing you could do but sit in your hotel room because if you go out into the streets,
you're fair game.
Yeah, it's like Elvis 57, man. You can't really do much without being mobbed.
And you're seeing, like, we're seeing footage of these fans just pressed up against the glass of, like, the hotel lobby, trying to get in, and it's intimidating. I can't imagine what that
I would be scared.
They have been traveling. They do so much traveling that by the time they get to their destination, they're just ready to relax and unwind. And these fans are here to get like some recognition and they want things signed and whatnot. And you have to either put your blinders on and just get through and not really acknowledge those fans, or you have to kind of sacrifice some of your own sanity probably by like getting involved with all that.
But Argentinians, they sway and sing. They're as enthusiastic as every other part of South America. It's nice to know that they don't hold Iron Maiden accountable for the Falkland War conflict that occurred.
That's good.
You can blame Margaret Thatcher. Don't blame Iron Maiden.
I do blame her.
They go to Chile, more airport chaos. And yeah, they discuss, like we talked about earlier, how they were banned in Chile at one point by the dominant Catholic. But of course, Catholicism dominates most of this continent. But in Chile, they took that shit more seriously. And a fan laments those times. They said they didn't understand it was just a rock concert.
Yeah.
They were set to play and the fans were ready, and it just didn't happen.
Yeah. But now they're here. They're here now. They
sing the song. They have a song called Iron Maiden. It's a good one.
Yep.
But they have a cyborg Eddie prop.
Yes, they do.
And a dude's like controlling it.
Like a dang video game or a remote control car.
It's so cool. They wait till near the end of the movie to try out the cyborg Eddie.
Right. How much did something like that cost? How much practice did that take for that guy to get it right where he wasn't just knocking everybody over, falling off the stage? And where was he practicing this cyborg Eddie? Like, where was this happening? That's what I want to know. This is the answers that I want.
The band seemed very comfortable around the giant.
Yeah, it was kind of like looking, like, hey.
It's like, oh, hey, Eddie.
Yeah, and Eddie's like kind of got this like robotic sort of like exposed muscle sort of thing going on. He's got like a gun, I think, pointing out in the audience. He's like moving his arms a lot, and he's walking around the stage just effortlessly around the band members. Like he's just kind of walking, and he's got a camera too, so you can kind of see through cyborg Eddie's eyes from time to time.
Like an infrared, like a night vision.
Yeah, and I guess it's so that the controller can see, but we don't.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Or just to have extra footage.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, maybe so. But it was really something.
They hit up to Puerto Rico and then New Jersey. Talk about how different it must have felt.
Culture shock, yeah.
You spend weeks in South America, in Latin America, and then like let's go to New Jersey.
Yeah.
They sing "Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner."
Yeah.
Bruce is dressed like an Ironborn priest from Game of Thrones.
Yep.
What is dead may never die. That's just what it reminded me. And their official Iron Maiden song should be "Rhyme of the Ancient Mariner." That's just a demand. That's not really it.
Puts that out into the universe.
Then they land in Toronto. They were able to kind of deflate a little bit because Toronto is the end of their tour. And they realized when they landed in Toronto that they accomplished, and this is huge.
Huge. Absolutely, yeah.
Sit everything in a rig on a personal private jet where they're playing shows that many cities that they've never played before, with the jet being flown by the lead singer of the band. Bruce was talking about how elated he felt when he was getting off the plane, and then he gets out into the Toronto air, and then he's immediately like, fuck, it's cold.
Yeah, it's freezing there, yes, of course.
Adrian talks about how he's anxious to go home, but he did enjoy spending time with the documentary crew.
Yeah.
And Steve, he says that it's always been about the music, and our fans know that. And that's what we talked about earlier. It's about the music. It's not about the devil.
That's right. It's not.
It's
Get the
about
devil out of here.
It's about the metal fun.
Yeah.
Yannick says, if you like Iron Maiden, God bless you. If you don't, God bless you.
Oh, what a sweet guy.
I think it's Bruce that says this as we close the film out. He says, not verbatim, somewhere in the universe is something you can rely on. And Maiden can be that for some people. And if we did accomplish that, then maybe we did something great after all.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a nice way to phrase it, because sometimes, like, Paul Stanley has been guilty of this, where he's like, you see our fans, they're just going into the doldrums of their everyday lives. They're beat down. They're trying. They got nothing going on. They're not very smart. And they just go to Kiss concerts to unwind from their idiotic everyday lives.
Right.
But they phrased it very well.
I thought so too.
In that, without trying to set themselves above their fans. It just seems to me that Iron Maiden really loves their fan base, and they consider them to be equal to them in so many ways.
Yeah, and I think that they really experience something different than other bands, and they sort of like they're getting interviewed by somebody in New Jersey. They're not just like a band that has been playing for 30 whatever years and just revisit old material just to do it, just to play for their, like you were saying earlier, the fans that have seen them 20 times or whatever. Their fan base is always changing. They're young people newly discovering the band all the time, and we're seeing it like at these shows, like all these young people like just discovering music, discovering who they are, whatever. And so they kind of are playing this unusual role here, where you might see somebody like Rolling Stones or like Paul McCartney. I'm not saying anything against Paul McCartney, but I think it's kind of like a thing that's been commented on about how he may not be the most relevant artist to young people these days.
That's right.
And there have been other things that have sort of like tied him back in to the young person culture. And I think that's probably the case with a lot of bands that have been around for a long time. You're just not getting those new fans like somehow Iron Maiden is.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see. So I just think that they can offer a different perspective that way.
Yeah, and they did it without really changing that much. It's this metal formula. It was like that in the beginning, and it's always been like that. And it's been pointed out several times that Steve Harris doesn't give a fuck about what sells records. What comes first is what he wants to hear, and everything else is second to that. Yeah,
and they've said a few times, too, that they've gotten the success through not much like radio play, not much like mainstream media attention. They're widely known as like one of the greatest, best metal bands ever, but somehow just never kind of made it to that high-profile public eye.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Arguably one of the biggest bands in the world in spite of that.
Yeah, which is fascinating to me that has happened. And, it just could be like some sort of like magic recipe that has come together because of their own extreme talent and their professionalism and their sort of dedication, and Steve's maybe his passion and drive to really carefully create something really special that sort of really sets them apart from other bands and other acts.
And they close out on a performance of Hallowed Be Thy Name. And at the end of the credits, Dick Bell says to the camera, why don't you lot just fuck off and go home? I love Dick Bell.
I do too. He's just an ornery, precious, precious person.
This movie is about 10 years old. I hope Dick Bell's still around.
I don't know.
He needs to book a show here in Nashville that's just called An Evening with Dick Bell.
I would go to it.
And he just tells like Iron Maiden stories and tells everyone to go fuck themselves. I would go.
I would go to that. I would be all about that.
Now, Ginger, we don't rate in a star rating.
No, we don't.
Here on Documenteers. Stars are like, it's like the Osmonds, right? But our rating system, the Herzog rating system, it's more like Iron Maiden in terms of thrash. Netflix got rid of their star rating system.
Did they? I didn't know.
Which I commend them for. They do this weird like or don't like now.
They don't do Herzogs on Netflix?
That's what I want to get to. I think Netflix, we do on Documenteers talk about a lot of movies that are Netflix original movies. Sure. I think they could pay us back by converting to a Herzog rating scale.
Agreed.
I don't think that's too much to ask.
Nope, not at all.
We rate in Herzogs. I'm going to give it 1 through 5 Herzogs. You're going to give it 1 through 5 Herzogs. Okay. And then we'll combine I was trying to come up with an Iron Maiden metaphor, but I didn't. Into the best out of 10 Herzogs. This movie, Iron Maiden Flight 666, very, very enjoyable movie. We watched this movie it's a movie we watched and we were going to do it for the podcast. And it's the only movie we watched that we decided, like, fuck it, let's not do it. But it's this movie called XTC, This Is Pop. It would have been the first rock doc if we did it. And I watched it with Angela. And XTC is like this kind of art pop British band like that was around in that new wave era in England. In the opening, the frontman, Andy Partridge, he makes this statement. He goes, I rock documentaries. I hate rock documentaries. Like, who'd you sleep with? What drugs did you do? Blah, blah, blah. And then from that point on, we proceed to watch, and this is a band that some records I actually like of theirs a lot, proceed with a very mediocre, boring documentary that was actually all done through an Andy Partridge filter and was not enough about the rest of the band.
Okay, yeah.
I'm not officially rating that movie, but it kind of blew. And
officially.
But he was talking about how certain things he didn't want to see in a rock documentary that seemed stereotypical. And this movie didn't offer that, but his movie was boring.
Yeah.
This is a better example of a rock documentary not having those stereotypical elements and then rising above and being great. Yeah. I do got a small bone to pick with this movie.
Okay, let's hear it.
It's the directors Sam Bunn and Scott McFadden. They are Canadian, as we stated. I don't know who's talking or what, but at the very beginning, it's like they set up the whole thing. Like, here's Iron Maiden. It's what they're all about. And this is funny because we had another Canadian filmmaker in a movie we did called Nintendo Quest, where the filmmaker felt the need to also set that up. And it opens on this guy like setting up his own fandom and him getting to tour with Iron Maiden. Oh God, is this whole movie going to be him like narrating Iron Maiden? Because I do not like this. I do not want this. We've got the guy didn't like inject himself visually throughout the movie, which is good. But I was like, oh no, are we getting what's Super Size Me guy again?
Oh yeah, that guy. I don't know.
What the fuck?
I can't remember his name.
What the fuck is Super Size Me guy's name? Morgan Spurlock.
Yeah, that guy.
I was like, oh no, are we going to get some Spurlocking throughout this movie? But then that went away.
Yeah, completely.
Totally. And then it was literally about Iron Maiden and how they resonate with fans throughout the world. And I'm pleased to say I had no complaints about the movie from then on. I always respected Iron Maiden as a music fan, but I think after watching this movie, I might just be a straight up fan now. I think I'm very open to getting more Iron Maiden records, more than the first 4 that I have, analyzing them, and because I like what they're about. I like how they are. I like them as a unit. I want more Iron Maiden in my life. Yeah. Now I got a decision to make in my rating here.
I'm like on the edge of my seat right now.
That part I just talked about where the guy sets it up, I really didn't like that part. But everything else about the movie rises above that easily. I gotta be honest, like sometimes a documentary can be perfect. And sometimes a documentary can resonate beyond where something might not be technically perfect, but it resonates on a level that is really hard to do. And I think it was the movie Call Me Lucky is a good example of that movie. There was elements of it that weren't perfect, but the way that movie resonated with me and Angela set it to the next level. I feel like I've been rating things very high lately, but I can't help it. Iron Maiden Flight 666, that's a 5 Herzog movie. Ooh. So well done, so well edited. The way the band is shook by their fan base and the way they react to it, you feel that because you're reacting to that as well. You're seeing what they're seeing, and you're feeling their intimidation, and you're feeling their nerves, and you're feeling their respect. And it did such a good job. These Canadian filmmakers, which I'm glad didn't talk through the whole fucking movie, Sam Bunn and Scott McFadden, he did a good job, dude.
Yeah, good job, guys.
You're 5 in my boat. You're a 5 Herzog director. Ginger,
I gotta say, and I'll say ditto to all the things that you said, and I agree. I think that I did not feel the panic and the dismay at hearing them sort of set up the film in the beginning. That wasn't something that really kind of caught my attention, especially since maybe because they didn't inject themselves into the entire rest of the film, really. But otherwise, I too thought it was really well done. There was a great balance of seeing some really awesome live footage where you're just absolutely blown away. I think I wrote like 3 times in my notes, like killing it in like all caps. So we see a lot of that. We see a lot of the fan response. We see the interactions with the crew and with even like the fun kind of celebrity guest, like music fans that they would interview.
Tom Morello.
Tom Morello, oh my gosh. I screamed out loud when I saw I love Tom Morello. Like,
he always seems to show
what am I
up.
doing right now? Am I doing the Tom Morello
Yeah, I
guitar?
think so. It's been a while.
Yeah. Anyway, so the whole combination, you just really feel like you're on a journey. The way everything unfolds, and you kind of see the tour as it happens, and it's just really well balanced and really super enjoyable. And I even watched it twice in the span of like 3 days or something. So I'm gonna say that I wholeheartedly give this film 5 Hertzog.
Oh, shit.
Mm-hmm.
Iron Maiden, Flight 666. Perfect documentary.
Up the irons.
Getting some fibers popping up here.
Popping up the fibers.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
I think it's worth it. If you're an Iron Maiden fan, you'd probably give this 20 Hertzogs.
Mm-hmm. But even if you're not, I feel like if you like music at all, I think you can appreciate it. And I think even if you don't think you like Iron Maiden, if you heard it, maybe you'd be like, oh wow, they're really amazing. So
yeah,
I would recommend it.
It's a solid introduction to Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
And for someone who was casually respecting them, it brought me to the next level.
Yeah.
I feel like I could watch this movie again soon.
I probably will. And I will say, I want to add 2 important things. One important thing. There are 2 video games based on Iron Maiden. Bobby downloaded one. I tried to, but I have too many cat pictures. There's a mobile game. There's also a desktop game, too, that's, I think it's still around. It was released like quite a while ago, so maybe, I don't know how this stuff goes, but there is a mobile game. Bobby has played it.
Yeah, a little bit.
It looks really cool. There's like some Eddie stuff that you play. There's also some music.
Right, you play as Eddie. The music's great. You already know what the style of it is.
Yeah.
It's like a turn-based RPG almost. So.
Yeah. So that's fun. I mean, if you're like us and you are now like diehard Iron Maiden fans after watching this film, play the video games.
And like I said, I accidentally watched the concert movie, the actual concert movie. That's good too.
Yeah.
That's not really what we're rating, but if you watch Iron Maiden Flight 666 and it resonates with you as much as it resonated with us, you'd have no problem watching that concert movie. So
yeah, if you need more, do it.
If you agree with us, I'd go ahead and throw that in there too for your viewing experience.
And there's another documentary that they've made since then that we should maybe check out in the future too.
Will do.
Yeah.
Will do. Everything Iron Maiden now.
All Iron Maiden all the time.
I'm gonna put Iron Maiden tattoos on my dogs.
Yeah.
I love it.
They'd like that, I'm sure.
All right, folks. Until next time, Number of the Beast. Keep on docking. But Lick It Up is my favorite shit song, at least right now.
Sing it.
Lick it up! Lick it up! Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, God.
We're famous now.